Hey everybody, it's Kenny K here. I wanted to talk about the Terminator. Now, this is more about the Terminator called a slasher movie than a review about the movie. Now, for the ones who dug a hole and never came out of it, the Terminator is about the story about this post-apocalyptic future uh, called Cyberdyne. Now, Cyberdyne, Skynet, basically, they made an AI artificial intelligence that took over and nuked the entire world and made these cyborgs from ships to tanks to skeleton made cyborgs which can have human skin, and they call them infiltrators. Now, that sounds kind of familiar what they're doing now. I mean, Musk is trying to make robots, they're all making AI. It's starting to sound a little bit like Terminator here, threatening with nukes. And apparently, John Connor was one of the people that still survived because the Terminators used them as a sort of like cattle, and he said, we're not going to be treated this way again. We're going to fight. And eventually they fought, and they took a lot of Terminators, or these, these planes and these tanks. I mean, they took a lot of shit down, right? And they knew, okay, if John Connor is a problem, we gotta kill the root of it. So they gotta kill his mom, Sarah Connor. So they sent a T-800 model infiltrator Terminator, which has the skin of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Here you go. And takes the clothes from Bill Paxton. If a lot of people didn't maybe know, but Bill Paxton is in this movie, a cameo in the beginning when he arrives naked at these three punks. And it's not Bill Paxton who gets the clothes, but I think he punches through Bill Paxton or something. Yeah. His debut, Bill Paxton's debut, although, sorry, 1984, I did a few like mortuary and things like that, a few slasher movies already, so for those, but it's James Cameron, of course, a prolific director. You have Linda Hamilton being Sarah Connor, and then the spoiler twist, Michael Biehn, who's Kyle Reese. That's soldier sent by the rebellion, basically, from by John Connor himself to protect his mom. Now the irony about it is that he's the dad. He's gonna have sex at some point. He knew he was the dad. I think he knew at some. He knew that he's gonna protect his wife and he's gonna have sex with her, and that he will be the creator of John Connor. Him and Sarah Connor. Yeah. And that makes it so sad at the end that he dies. I thought, geez, it's so sad. Because if you see a sort of the uncut version of Terminator 2, you see him again, which is in the psych ward, and then you see her giving up, and he's there as an image, but then with black hair instead of the blonde hair, and he says, "Don't give up, soldier. Remember your training. Don't give up." And like this, and that's only in the uncut version. It's a shame they actually just snipped it out. It was an iconic scene. We all wanted to see him. I mean, Michael Biehn, James Cameron had an interest in this guy because he also played in Aliens as one of the key roles. Corporal Dwayne Hicks of the U.S. Colonial Marines reporting, sir. I mean, with a shotgun. I like to keep this for close encounters, you know. I mean, he's a great actor, underrated a little bit, and that's a problem. Then, of course, Arnold Schwarzenegger and as playing the Terminator. Now, the problem is that Kyle Reese can be killed, but he's really trained well. He was not just a grunt sent to the past, but a really well one of his best soldiers. He was a sergeant, and the Terminator is of course the Terminator. He's just, you know, and he didn't know who the Terminator was until he basically came out. So he had to follow Sarah around until the Terminator came, and you have this awesome scene in this discotheque called Club Noir, where he sees Sarah, takes out a 45 with a laser pointer, points it at her head, and then he sees this, takes the sawed-off shotgun and starts to blow holes in him. Now, of course, this doesn't hurt him, but does drop him for like 5 seconds or so. But then he takes the Uzi out and just starts to spray bullets all over the place. He doesn't mind killing 10 people. But okay, why did I had three reviewers put this. They had a top 50 slasher list. I'm thinking, oh my fuck, how you gonna do that? I mean, you got a lot of slasher movies, but a lot of them aren't that good. Okay, they're not bad either, but most of them are just okay, somewhat good, and you have a few really good ones, you know, like The Burning, My Bloody Valentine, and then the franchises, you know, Friday the 13th, especially the first four, Halloween 1 and 2 especially. I mean, but I think he placed it somewhere in his top 5, the Terminator slasher movie, and then there were a few people in this chat. Oh yeah, I agree, it's a slasher movie. Why? If somebody can convince me in the comments that this is a slasher movie, then by all means go right ahead. And I can be wrong, but I don't see this as slasher. I understand his point of view that you've got a killer going after this couple, trying to kill them, right? Killing them with guns mostly. So that's also something that a slasher doesn't do, but okay. But then he does something that a slasher would never do. A slasher is what's a slasher? A slasher doesn't kill multiple people at once in one room. A slasher usually kills 1 or 2 people. Now, of course, yeah, you had Scream 5 or 6 or whatever, 6, I think 6 in the city, where he just barges in and tries to attack 5 people, and that's really unseen for a slasher. Even a Jason Voorhees won't kill like 4 or 5 people at once. He would kill one, and he'll go to the next. You know what I mean? So no, I don't believe that that Schwarzenegger is a. I don't believe that Schwarzenegger is a slasher in this movie, especially what he does when, and that's one of the coolest, in my opinion, that's one of the coolest scenes in the movie. That and a Tech Noir club. That's when he goes into the police station, and I remember that the Lieutenant Baxter or Traxler,
perfectly safe.
The black
Got 30 cops in this building.
Who kind of believed when they're interrogating Kyle, they think he's cuckoo, but because he's saying about the Terminator, about the future, and then he's like thinking about it, and he says, Lance Henriksen's there too. He's also in the movie. He says, "You don't believe this shit, right?" I hope not. I hope not. And there's a deleted scene. I'll tell you right away that the moment the Terminator just barges in and he does the famous line, "I'll be back," he goes to his car, rams his shitty car through the office desk, goes in with all the guns that he bought at that gun store, with that other actor that's always in movies like the Gremlins and Silver. Was it Silver Bullet? No, Silver Bullet. The Howling. He's in multiple. Like, I can't remember his name, but he's asking the shotgun automatic, the automatic Uzi Carabino, a phase 5 watts plasma gun. It's like, and then he takes the shotgun and blows the guy away because he's not gonna pay for that shit. And I think he doesn't have $1 in his pocket. So he takes all that artillery with him. A shotgun, it's a automatic shotgun, so you can hold it with one hand. You don't have to do this. He has this, like, sort of, I'm not sure what kind. Usually I'm, okay, those weapons. But he uses this automatic assault rifle with a very long clip, and he has multiple clips. Because when it's out, he takes a shotgun underneath his arms and reloads the clip and puts it back on, and he's like, brrr, always, yeah, there goes a cop. I mean, and that's what I said. Baxter, let's call him Baxter, the lieutenant. There are 32 cops or something here in this building, and he apparently killed like 28 of them, 27, 28. This is revealed in Terminator 2, because they were still looking for this guy, and they saw him in the mall, but that was another Terminator. That was the good Terminator. There's a good Arnold Schwarzenegger. See this one and the second one, the great movie. Both great movies, both James Cameron, I believe, yeah. Great movies. But he just goes like, then he takes the power out, and you see him getting hit and doing like this, and then he sees again. So a guy like shooting from a wall, the shotgun against the wall. I'm like, what the fuck? Oh, it was a pretty cool scene that everybody's getting M16s and flak jackets, and then Baxter too, and he shoots at the Terminator and he gets hit. Then Lance Henriksen is like, "Are you okay?" And he says, "It's fine." And he says, "Hey, you!" And then the Terminator goes like, but there's a scene, deleted scene, where Baxter says, "Give this revolver, take this revolver, Kyle. Protect her with everything you've got. For our future, protect her." Now he believes the entire story. He already kind of believed it, so that was a cool scene. They shouldn't put it out. And then he dies of his wounds, but sad scene, of course, but it's still, why it didn't take anything out of the movie. But like I said, a slasher will never do that shit. Did you ever see a slasher? Even with a flak jacket, a slasher won't do that. One headshot and he's gone. I mean, right? Okay, Michael Myers goes into a sheriff's department. What the sheriff's department? How many cops are in the sheriff's department? 4 at the best. Let's say the sheriff's gone, his deputies. And I remember in part 4 that he decimates the sheriff's department, but I think there were only like 2 deputies in there, and the other deputy was patrolling, and he was gone with Dr. Loomis, Sheriff Meeker. That's the closest you're gonna get. but in a police station with over 30 cops and hardware like M16s and shit. It's not a slasher movie. It does definitely have horror elements in the movie, and that's where I am agreeing with these reviewers, because you got the scene where he's basically cutting himself open because he's been burned and hit, and his eye is basically damaged to this, and it's all real limbs, so his eye is so completely white from the burning, and he flips it out, and you see the eyeball falling with the blood, and then you see wounds, his arm opening up so we can see if his fingers still are moving, and he opens the frontal, and you see the tubing, the mechanical tubings in there, and I mean, it's pretty graphic, yeah. And they're not shy of giving you some graphic kills, like I said. I mean, Bill Paxton, who gets the fist right through his body. I mean, but to call it a slasher, no way, Jose. If you can give me, somebody can give me a reasonable comment that may persuade me, now I'll rethink about it. But slasher, no. Sci-fi horror, yeah. It's only the first one. The second one and all the latter ones, no. That's pure sci-fi, action sci-fi. That one, sci-fi horror, because there's a little less action and there's more build up with the Terminator, looking for Sarah Connor, and meanwhile going through the phone book and killing every Sarah Connor that's in there. So, you know, when he kills that poor lady and he just, Sarah Connor, yes, he opens the door, takes the 45, bam, 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 bam. You always make sure they are dead, like putting 10 bullets in them or something. It's like in the police station, he always made sure the person who attacked him was dead, putting like 2 shotgun rounds in him, and then usually a few rounds of the machine gun, and then 2 rounds of the shotgun. So no, I don't believe it's a slasher movie, and that was the entire topic of this discussion, actually. Just saying. I already reviewed this movie. It's a great movie. I mean, it's a great, and it does have I'll categorize it as a sci-fi horror movie. You know, like Predator is a sci-fi horror movie in my opinion. And Aliens, especially Alien, is a sci-fi horror movie. Aliens, yeah, but it's bordering on sci-fi action and horror, a little bit of horror, but not too much. It's more action-packed, but still horrifying. The movie's great. I got great acting, great special effects, all practical. The Terminator, the skeleton, when he's completely burned his skin away, you can see the Terminator for what it is. It's like the skeleton basically, and it moves, and it's pretty cool. And then Reese's last stand against it with this iron pipe, and it goes like this, and then back, and then this, and then back. But then eventually he gets one hit in his face, and he's completely dazed and bloody in his mouth, and it's pretty cool. 100% gets a 9 out of 10. Yeah. So that being said, if you like the video, like it, subscribe, and leave a comment if you want. If you think it's a slasher movie, especially if you think it's a slasher movie and can convince me. Not saying that, not coming with that bullshit, but you got a killer going after these two people, but then he goes through an entire police station to go to these people. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. That's not what a slasher does. Give me a good reason and I'll reconsider it. See you next time. Hope you enjoy your day. Bye bye.